All right, welcome back to Bacon's Bass Place, everybody. Today we're continuing this week's sections of the 50 basic slap bass patterns. You guys know that, that's why you're here. I'm just doing a little bit of a jam. I like to start out the video with that, I think a little bit more often now. Just kind of, you know, having a little bit of a jam. Maybe I'll try and throw some peanut butter in there too. Okay, but not really. Haha, terrible. Okay, today we are on pattern 61, 62. All right, so it's kind of a fun one. It is open, slap, pull off, slap. So there's some fun stuff we can do. I'm not really going to do it too much today with a slap stroke being on the open note, okay? Because that kind of, we have slap, 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 pull off, slap. So that gives us 3 slaps in a row, and I kind of really dislike that. But I guess you can do it. See, even that just kind of became something else because the way that dictates it to be is awkward. That's why today I'm going to do this with a open pop instead of a open slap, okay? So we're going to go open pop, slap, pull off, slap. Okay, now you can pop any open string. You can slap any fret on any open note. You can pull off to either an open string or to another note, another fretted note. And yeah, you can slap anywhere again. So you combine all of those factors in various different ways. See the different ways that you guys can mix it up together, you know? So that's it. Couple tricks there. One thing, when I'm doing closed position pull-offs, that means I'm not pulling off to an open string, and I'm doing a pop right next to it, I kind of, even though I don't actually have to let go, I can just keep that. You can do that. It's kind of even just a nice, more legato way to play. If you want everything to ring out over each other, is actually nice. But what I was going to say is that I let up this hand when I'm popping. And that kind of helps me to get all of the notes separated. That's a very non-legato way to play. That's a way where the notes are not separated by an actual space, but they're touching each other and they're not ringing out over top of each other, okay? So the way that that's happening is I'm popping the first note, and then when I go to slap my second note, when I land my finger here, my finger like higher up here, closer to like this part of my finger, actually mutes that open string, okay? So I'm popping it, and then when I land this string, I'm muting that popped one so it doesn't ring out. You can hear that. Okay, and the difference, like as opposed to that, the other thing is to let the open note ring out while you do that. Takes a little bit of trick, because of the setup phase. If you're trying to ring out that note, when you go to set up your pop, you mute that string, right? If you don't know what I mean about setting up your pops, go check out my video, The Perfect Pop, where I talk all about the setup phase of the pop, okay? So your setup phase here can mute that pop string when you go for another one. But I suppose that really only kind of, like when you're just doing it two like that, just the two notes. Because you're doing the pop, the slap here, and then going right back to the pop, okay? So there's not a lot of time for it to ring up. But when you're doing the full 4-note pattern, there's a full 3 notes there that you can play before having to set up your pop again, okay? So you can let that note ring out for that whole time. That's a cool way to like hear tonalities, you know, play different modes over the open root note, okay? So what would that be on this? That's an open G note, okay? So if you want to hear a G major scale, I would play a G major scale on top of that, right? What if you wanted to hear the minor scale, how G minor sounded? Again, the reason I'm doing this now is because to hear the scale over the note sounds really, gives you the actual like the emotional context of it, right? It tells you what flavor of the mode is. If you guys know your modes, then you're going to be wanting to also build up your ear's association to those modes and the tonalities of the modes and what they sound like. What's the emotional resonance there, okay? So playing the mode over the root note is a really good way to hear that. Oh dear, I did that whole thing on C before in the wrong string. Been switching up my basses, played a Soundgarden set this last week. I had like 3 different basses, they're all in different tunings, weird different stringings. Give me a break, guys. Just kidding. All right, G. That means I'm on the low string. I was doing it from C before. Super plain major scale, right? If we do the minor scale. It's a lot easier to hear that actual dark quality of the minor chord when we play it over that, right? So this is kind of a neat example for that. Anyone that we're really starting the open string with a pop, where we've chosen to start it with a pop and not a slap, works great. Let's try a G Lydian. That's the Lydian part right there. All right, so you guys can really see like all of this different stuff that you can do with these patterns, okay? As you've been following me as we're doing these weekly series, you're noticing that I just kind of throw in different ideas on top of these patterns, right? Because that's sort of the beauty of these patterns is they're not assigned to any particular scale or rhythm or time signature or genre or anything. You can do anything you want with any of these, right? You can like That was a terrible example of how you could do a little bit of blues with that, for example. You know, I use a lot of this stuff for writing. You know, a lot of my techniques that I do, most of the time, are applicable in writing music, when I'm writing my own music, or even learning anything. I'm writing my own bass line too, right? If I'm learning somebody else's music, a lot of the times I like to slap, you know. It kind of depends. It depends on the riff, you know. It depends if you can do it nicely. Right? So slap bass isn't all like... Now, there's a lot of that. Okay, but you gotta expand, you gotta go deeper, you gotta get bigger, okay? So, yeah, one of the other things I was doing in that jam I had at the beginning of the lesson, I think, was alternating the popping note. That's kind of a fun thing. All right. Like always, guys, I want to hear back from you. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are, if you have some other patterns other than the ones that I'm showing you, if you have some suggestions for me to try out, if you want to let me know how this has been going for you, if you're actually playing along to this. That's going to be it for today, guys. But make sure that you hit the subscribe button, because you're not going to want to miss when we're going. You want to get those notifications, right? So also hit that little notification bell, because these aren't long live videos, right? So you want to make sure that if you're trying to catch me live, actually when I'm actually filming, like right now, not later, you want to have that little button pushed, all right? Make sure you comment below. Like I said, tell me how this is going for you. Tell your friends about it. Make sure you come back and say hi. Also, for you guys that want to actually follow along with this, there's a link below where you can click, and all you have to do is enter your little name in there, and then you will be sent a PDF copy for free, a free PDF copy of these, the second part. You're actually not only going to get the 51 to 100 slap bass patterns, but you're going to get the 1 to 52. You're going to get the first 100 slap bass patterns, so you can actually follow us and see where we're at, okay? It looks like this. Right? Ho-ho, ho-ho. Is that upside down for you guys? Yeah. Ho-ho, ho-ho. All right, so if you want that, check it out. Also, if you want to see some of the freaky slap bass lines that I get to play, make sure that you go download Dizzy Mystics' debut album, Wanderlust. You can get it on Bandcamp. You can stream it on Spotify and all that goodness. So if you're into prog rock, if you want to support some good up-and-coming Canadian music, I mean, I can't really unbiasedly say that it's good because it's my band, but I like it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. My usual little logging off routine here. I love to have some problems logging off every time. It's my terrible computer, guys. If I could fix it, I would, but there's just not much to be done until I can upgrade my gear.